Hi everybody, it's Lynn Hayes. Welcome back to my channel. Today's April 13th, 2020. I wanted to talk some today about the astrology for the upcoming week and also a little bit about where we are right now as far as the planets and the COVID situation and the lockdowns and the quarantines and all of that. Probably I'm going to talk about this a little bit every week because it's the biggest thing that's going on right now. And just to kind of recap, we've had some big planetary cycles this year. Well, we've had big planetary cycles really going all the way back to 2008 when Pluto entered Capricorn. The planets are always doing something, but sometimes they're doing more than other times, and this is one of those times. So we've had Pluto in Capricorn for long since 2008, creating contraction, creating consolidation of power, of wealth. We've seen that in the news. And then Saturn moved into Pluto in December of 2018. Saturn and Pluto were pretty close for most of last year. There was somewhat of a contraction, and then the two collided officially in January. And there was also an eclipse then, and that's right when this whole virus situation kind of exploded. So when we think about Saturn, the planet of challenge and restriction and limitation, and Pluto, the planet of destruction and regeneration, when you bring those two planets together, what we're seeing now, this lockdown where many of us can't leave our homes, is very Saturn Pluto, especially in the sign of Capricorn, where there are rules and structures that have to be honored, really. So in any case, now we have Jupiter joining the party. And Jupiter, we like to think of Jupiter as being happy and good luck, and everybody loves Jupiter. There's a party when Jupiter's around. But Jupiter also expands whatever it comes into contact with. And, right now, personally, I feel that this virus, you could just look at the effect that it's having on the earth. Everything is changing. There was an article that I read this morning that the Ganges River, which has been super polluted, and people bathe in there, they drink from there, but it's clearing because the waste from hotels and from guest houses is not there anymore. The air is clearing. People are posting photos of the lack of air pollution. So the world is changing as a result of this. We don't like it in our personal life because it's affecting us, quite seriously. I'm not trying to minimize that at all. But things are so out of balance in this world right now. And I kind of feel like nature just took matters into its own hands and said, look, you all stay home, don't do anything, don't go to work, and I'm going to take care of creating more equality, more equilibrium. I've been doing some research into previous pandemics, which I'll be writing some about. There's some interesting astrological correlations. But one thing that has almost always happened with the pandemic, when they occur in times of great economic disparity, the pandemics lead to greater equalization. So, we live in a natural world. The natural world is not always kind. It doesn't always take into consideration our personal needs, but there's some good things happening. And for myself personally, I'm trying to really look at those things and focus on that and see how I can change my life to adapt to this new reality. So anyway, I've sort of gone on and on about that. I want to talk about the astrology of this week so you know what's happening. I do want to say this conjunction between Jupiter and Pluto, which just happened. It's not like it happened and now it's over. Those two planets are going to be within 3 degrees all the way into July. So this effect of sort of expanding this transformation that's happening in the world is very much still with us. And personally, I think we're not going to see it let up until we get into July. And I wrote something here in my notes that seemed like it was just it just kind of came through exactly this way. This sounds a little Lord of the Rings-ish, but this is a time when the old ways are falling away and the new ones are not yet born. So somebody said on my Facebook page, isn't there somebody who can tell us what's going to happen at the end of this? And the problem is nobody can. We're heading into a new world. So we'll keep talking about that. And, if you have questions or any way that you'd like me to cover this in the future, please let me know. But so for today, Mercury is in Aries now. It just moved into Aries a few days ago. And I can see the video is really dark in here. So sorry about that. Hopefully you can see me. So Mercury is the planet of the mind and communication. When Mercury is in Aries, communication is much more forceful. There's a tendency towards arguments. There's a tendency for people to really hold fast to their opinions and express them with a lot of force. So don't be surprised if there's some arguments and a lot of kind of fiery rhetoric over the next 3 weeks or so. Mercury is going to harmonize with Saturn on the 11th, which will help to facilitate positive communication. But on the 14th and the 15th, when it transits over Chiron, the planet of wounding and healing, there could be some issues that come up that carry some old emotional baggage that could be a little bit uncomfortable. But anytime we have an event that has to do with Chiron, there's an opportunity to release something from the past. And this could be, especially if you have any issues, as I do myself, around communication, being heard, being seen. These are things that could come up over the next few days. Then on the 18th, Mercury is going to harmonize with both Venus and Mars. So Mars and Venus are within a degree of a trine, which is a harmonious aspect. Mars has a hard edge. It's aggressive, it's assertive. Venus is soft and pliable. And when those two planets, they're fast-moving planets, so their energies tend to change quickly. But when they harmonize together, there's a lot of nice balance that comes with that. So this could be a very nice time where we start to feel more equilibrium. Venus and Mars won't align exactly right now. They just come within a degree, but they never quite connect really. But on the 18th, so between the 16th and the 19th or so, when Mercury transits Venus and then Mars, it links them together. So those three planets are all working together, and they're the three most intimate planets. So this is a really good time, I would say, between the 16th, I think I said this, between the 16th and the 19th are good times to be able to maybe integrate a little more personally some of the things that are happening, the changes that are happening in your life. I do want to mention right now there's a big shortage of water, of the water element. Only Neptune is in Pisces, which is an outer planet. It's going to be in Pisces for quite a while. So there can be a lack of empathy and sensitivity when the water element is missing. So it's good to pay attention and see, am I really understanding how this person is feeling? Especially with Mercury and Aries. Aries doesn't really want to understand. Aries is all about action. It's like, it doesn't matter how you feel, let's just do it. So just watch for that. The other thing that I want to say too is we do have a big summer of retrogrades. At times, there's going to be up to 5-6 planets retrograde. That's a lot. So Pluto right now is stationary. It's going to turn retrograde on April 25th. It's going to be at the same degree really until early July, just after the second connection between Jupiter and Pluto. So when a planet is retrograde in the sky, or a stationary in the sky, as it prepares to change direction, it's just like a car that's doing a U-turn. Let's say you're in your house and a car is coming down the street, it's ready to make a U-turn. It's right in front of your house for quite a long time. And that's what happens when these planets appear to change direction. So The influence of Pluto is very strong right now, between now and early July. And Pluto is all about pressure to transform. So this is not a time when we can complain. No whining, no, oh, but I don't want it to be this way. There's really no choice. When Pluto's involved, Pluto creates the power of transformation. When Pluto's at work, all you can really do is just let go and let it happen. I know some of you are having tremendous financial issues right now, out of work, waiting for some sort of financial help. And that's very challenging. But we just have to kind of hang in there, look for the shards of light that come through a dark situation, and sort of see how we can make our way out. For some of us, this is a time of renewal and of recreating our life in a way that has more personal meaning. A lot of people are really enjoying and relishing being home with their families and having that time to really reconnect. And for some people, people who live alone, it can be a desperately lonely time. So, we have to reach out to our friends, we have to reach out to our neighbors. This is a time when we can take care of each other. And maybe there will be a little less of the kind of self-serving push for financial gain that we've seen over the last however many years. So anyway, I'd like to leave you on a positive note, and just that everything, I believe, happens for a reason. We can't always see when we're in the process, but the older we get, the more we see that changes that were devastating for us in the past turned out to create the greatest gifts. So I think we're going to see that in this current situation as well. So I thank you all for being here. And again, my name is Lynn Hayes. I'm an astrologer with many, many, many years experience. I'll put some links in the description box. If you like this video, if it was helpful, please subscribe, tell your friends, maybe click the like button, I guess. There's a bell that you can be notified of new posts and videos. So thanks again, and I hope you have a great week.